Here's the top 5 chair exercises that you can do to strengthen your abdominals and help reduce your pooch. So why might you need to do your abdominal workout from a chair? One can be age. I have a client in my office just yesterday. He's 92 years old and he really struggles getting up and down off of the floor. So while we will program some hip flexor and other strengthening exercises to help with that, our first goal is to get his core strong, and for him to be able to do that at home, we have to do it in a chair. Another reason to use a chair for your core exercises is maybe you've had a recent injury and you're struggling to get up and down off the floor. So without any further ado, here's my top 5 chair abdominal exercises with progressions. Exercise number 1. This is the transverse abdominis draw-in. So what's the transverse abdominis? It's the deepest layer of our abdominals, and it is what helps us pull the belly in. Think of it as an internal corset, or as a nice way to stabilize our spine. It also helps with our digestion, meaning as the belly pulls in, we can help stimulate all of the digestive organs. So here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna have a seat in our chair, and we're gonna sit a little bit towards the edge. I don't wanna be slouching or sitting back in the chair. I wanna set up with nice tall posture. From there, I'm simply gonna relax my hands into my lap. I'm gonna take a nice big inhale from my belly. I'm gonna let it get really big. I'm gonna move my hands so you can see my belly. I'm gonna inhale. And then as I exhale, I'm pulling my belly in towards my spine. I'm gonna hold that for around 10 seconds or until you feel like you need to take another breath. When you're ready to breathe in, just relax your belly. And when you exhale again, make that belly as small as you can, really pulling it in tight towards your spine. Same thing, hold it for 8 to 10 seconds or until you need to breathe again. We're gonna repeat that 8 to 10 times. Once you've mastered that, we're gonna move on to the TVA march. It's gonna be exactly the same setup. I'm nice and tall in my posture. I'm gonna inhale, let my belly get big to stretch the TVA, and then I'm gonna pull it in. Once it's pulled in, I'm simply going to do an alternating march. Notice I'm staying pretty tall in my spine. I'm not letting myself sag. I'm not losing my abs. The whole time that TVA is pulled in and I'm breathing. Notice I can still breathe both in and out with my TVA drawn in. I will continue this march for upwards of 60 to 90 seconds. Once you've mastered that, let's move on to the third and final TVA chair exercise. Just as we did before, I'll take my inhale, my belly's gonna get big. I'll draw my belly in. Now I'm gonna hold it in and I'm gonna try to lift both of my legs up off the floor. You'll notice I leaned back. I'm gonna try to lean back forward, lift my legs up as high as I can, and I'm really trying to keep that TVA drawn in. Same thing, I'm gonna hold this around 30 to 60 seconds. When I'm done, I just simply set a leg down, the other leg down, and relax. That is the TVA chair drawing with 3 increases in difficulty. Exercise number 2, seated oblique crunches. Once again, I'm gonna sit kind of on the edge of the chair so that I'm not slouching and not laying back. From here, I'm gonna take my fingertips and I'm gonna put them on my ears. Notice I'm not putting them in behind my head because I don't wanna pull on my neck. So I'm simply gonna keep my fingertips to my ears, and now I'm going to round my spine and rotate my elbow towards the opposite knee during the exhale. Try not to reach through the elbow. Think of the movement coming from the rib, rotating toward the opposite knee. Once you get comfortable with that exercise, you should be able to do it for somewhere between 15 and 20 repetitions per side, okay? Let's look at that from a side angle. Same exercise, I'm up tall on the edge of my chair, and then I'm simply rounding my spine as I rotate and exhale. I inhale up, I exhale down into flexion. So we're simply working back and forth each way until we've completed somewhere between 15 and 20 repetitions. Notice I'm really trying to round my spine as I flex through. Okay, once you've mastered that, we're gonna add just a nice little piece to it. Same exercise, fingertips on the ears. Now as I crunch down, I'm actually gonna lift my left leg as I rotate towards it from my right rib cage. In general, again, remember I'm trying to exhale when I crunch. Notice I'm staying forward. There might be a tendency to lean and fall back. That's not the goal. The goal is to flex and rotate the spine into the hip that's flexing. Same as before, we're looking to do somewhere between 15, 20, maybe even 30 repetitions per side. Once you've mastered that, we'll take it up one more level, and we're gonna start now with both feet off the ground, trying to maintain. You may lean back a little bit on this one. As you get better and better, you'll be able to keep your weight forward. I've got both feet off the ground, and now I'm crunching back and forth. Same concept, 15, 20, maybe even up to 30 reps per side. That is our seated oblique chair crunches. If you are able to get up and down off the floor, our next exercise is the 90-degree angle feet on chair crunches. This is for our rectus abdominis, or what we consider the six-pack muscle. So I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna put my heels on the chair, and I'm gonna have about a 90-degree angle at my hip and knee. It doesn't have to be perfect. From there, I'm gonna put my fingers again on my ears. I don't want them behind my head because I'm not trying to yank on my neck. I'm trying to use my abdominal muscles to curl myself up. From here, fingertips on the ears, I'm gonna exhale as I crunch up. I'm gonna roll through my neck and then my abdominals. I'm gonna hold that for 2 seconds, and then I'm gonna gently roll back down just short of my head touching. And we're gonna repeat for reps. I'm gonna exhale as I come up. I'm gonna hold that for 2, 1, and I'm coming back down. We're simply working up and down, a 2-second hold, rolling it back. I like to imagine I'm laying in sand and I'm trying to get each vertebrae to indent itself into the sand, and then I'm setting it right back down where I picked it up. Like all of our other ab exercises, we would like to do this somewhere between 15 and 30 reps. You can do 2 to 4 sets. If that's easy for you, we're simply going to pick the legs up off the chair. So I'm no longer using the chair. I'm keeping my legs hovering, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna crunch up with an exhale. I'm gonna hold it for about 2 seconds, and I'm gonna come back down. Hold for 2, roll back down. Again, make sure you're not pulling on your head. You're simply having your fingers touching your ears, and all the work should be in the rectus abdominis musculature. Same as before, somewhere between 15 to 30 repetitions, 2 to 4 sets. Our next exercise is the chair mountain climber. What we're gonna do, we're gonna come down, and I'm just gonna put my hands on the chair. I'm simply gonna walk my legs back, and I'm gonna try to keep my spine relatively flat, meaning I'm not letting it sag down, I'm not arching up, I'm trying to find somewhere in the middle. For the beginner phase, I'm simply gonna bring a leg up towards my elbow and down. And I'm just simply nice and gentle gonna alternate sides. We're gonna do this somewhere between 30 and 90 seconds. Once you're mastered a nice slow version, we'll advance it by starting to work quickly back and forth between each leg. Once you've mastered that, we can bring it across the body so that I'm driving my knee now to my opposite shoulder or elbow, And once we've mastered that, we can again pick up the pace so that we are moving dynamically. Again, somewhere between 30 and 90 seconds. Our last exercise is the chair plank. For the chair plank, I'm going to come down, I'm going to put my forearms on the chair, and I'm simply going to walk my feet back. What I'm looking for is to pull my belly button in, squeeze the glutes, flatten the spine, and tuck the chin. From here, we're going to hold the posture somewhere between 30 seconds and up to 2 minutes. If that was easy for you, we're going to modify it, and I'm going to put my feet up on the chair. I'm going to come down onto my forearms, and then it's the same exercise. I'm squeezing my butt, pulling my belly in, tucking my chin, and I'm going to maintain and hold somewhere between 30 seconds and 2 minutes.